Welcome back to the video series about the life of Shakyamuni Buddha. In the previous episode, we heard that on the return journey, Venerable Ananda happily followed the Buddha, learning the Dharma from him. The Buddha recounts important events in his life, from his years of asceticism to the conversion of the monks at Uruvela. When arriving at Vesali, the Buddha noticed the development of the monk community here and encouraged them to continue propagating the Dharma. Meanwhile, Sakaka, an arrogant and eloquent young man, decided to challenge the Buddha to a debate. Sakaka is confident that no one can beat him. However, when he met the Venerable Asaji, Sakaka was impressed by the Buddha's teachings on the five aggregates and non-self, but still did not realize its profundity. The debate between Sakaka and Buddha took place, and Sakaka gradually realized that his arguments were defeated. The Buddha pointed out that if the five aggregates were us, we could not control them. Sakaka finally admitted his mistake and expressed his respect to the Buddha, deciding to reform. Sakaka invited the Buddha and the Sangha to make offerings, demonstrating the change in his consciousness. The Buddha taught that blessings from offerings will come to those who have eliminated afflictions, and Sakaka felt the mystery of cause and effect. Finally, he appreciated and thanked Buddha for opening the path to enlightenment for him. The Life of Shakyamuni Buddha, Volume 38. The news of the Buddha's return made the whole bamboo forest stir. It seems that the sunshine is clearer and softer, and the clouds are also gentler and more peaceful. Then all the birds suddenly sang loudly. Life flows abundantly, flowing all over the tips of trees and blades of grass. Venerable Uruvalakasapa, Bhadia and Mahamoggallana took Nanda and Rahula to welcome him. Both groups of monks bowed to each other, and then, following the instructions of Venerable Mahamoggallana, they dispersed to the prearranged cups. After visiting the elders, the Buddha sat down to Rahula's height and spoke softly. "Did you learn much, Rahula?" "Very much, world-honored one." Then the novice boy continued briskly. Venerable Mahamoggallana taught the child a lot, not only forcing him to memorize, but also practicing. The baby can also eat bowls. King Senya Bimbisara and Queen Videhi often had their maids bring the baby lots of delicious food, including honey, sugar, milk, and lots of fruit. What should I do if I don't use it all? Before using, the child chooses the tastiest and best thing to offer to the teacher, the elders, and even Uncle Nanda. "Yes, that's very good." Rahula smiled brightly and nodded. "Looks thin but quite sturdy." Buddha held Rahula's hand and walked. "How are you, Nanda?" Buddha turned to talk to the lovesick prince. "Here the scene is cool and peaceful. The minds of the elders are also peaceful and cool. As for you, why, what kind of fire, a flame or a coal fire, keeps burning your heart and liver, making your face wither and wither like that? I will try." Nanda bowed his head and replied, "We'll try harder." "You don't have to try so hard, Nanda." The Buddha kindly preached precepts. Just breathe in harmony, and just stay continuously, single-mindedly on the breath. Then the fire, whatever it is, will automatically go out. "Stop harming yourself, Nanda." Bhikkhu Nanda felt very ashamed, but because the fire in his heart had not yet extinguished, it had not calmed down. As for the Buddha, he saw that it was not the right time, so he did not say much. Through the dry season, Truklam is still green and lush. Here and there, more wells are dug. Constructions here and there seem to have been reinforced to make them more durable. In the incense room, attendant Upavana lit 2 candles to absorb moisture and burned an incense burner to dispel impurities. The Buddha sat and listened to the work at Truklam for nearly 4 months, reported by the Venerable Mahamoggallana. The Buddha was pleased because Truklam was still developing normally, and there were also several hundred new bhikkhus sent from the capital and other places. The Buddha paid special attention to the Venerable Mahamoggallana, Uruvalakasapa, Bhadia, for some newly joined monks. They lack elementary education, have a shallow temperament, and both their manners and behavior when speaking and holding alms can easily lose the public's trust. This is very important. We must pay attention to remind and teach them regularly. So we still lack teachers. After settling down in the rainy season, Sariputta and a number of elders from other places had to be withdrawn here to help. Ki Vien took more than 10 years to meet the conditions for development. Furthermore, in the next few years, the countries on the northern banks of the Ganga River will have a lot of work to do. The outstanding Arahant bhikkhus must develop their minds, must raise their minds, must apply kindness, patience, discharge, and more decorative means. Currently, the opposing forces have quieted down for a while, but are still smoldering somewhere. Perhaps we need to support more favorable conditions. A few years later, there will be peace in this area. The other day, the Buddha alms alone, then went straight to Gijakuta mountain, staying in a cave. That night, he emitted six-colored light because he knew that the assembly of gods and non-humans had arrived. In addition, Vulture Peak Mountain also shines brightly with the divine power of the gods. The four great heavenly kings brought a large number of their entourage and presented the Buddha with a number of representative subjects to pay their respects to him, welcome him, praise him, and of course also want to listen to the Dharma. The heavenly king Vesavana rules the north, has a green body, royal robe, armor, and crown are all green. The right hand holds a victory flag, and in the left hand there is a silver mouse sprayed with pearls. Accompanying the northern heavenly king were many gods, yakshas and the golden birds, Supana and Citra. The ascendant heavenly king, Viruha, ruler of the south, has a blue body, royal robe, armor, and crown are all blue, hand holding a green sword, symbol of wisdom cutting down ignorance. Accompanying the southern heavenly king were also many devas, yakshas, and Kumbhanda. The heavenly king of the nation, Dhatarata, in charge of the east, has a white body, royal robe, armor. The crown is all white, holding a special heavenly instrument in his hand. Each time he plays it, it makes the listener's mind become pure. Accompanying the eastern heavenly king were also hundreds of deities, yakshas, and a large number of Gandharvas, Gandhava, with many strangely shaped instruments, enough to create a wonderful orchestra. Fourth is the heavenly king of advertising, Virupaka, has a red body, royal robe, armor, and crown are all red. The right hand holds a snake guarding the Mani jade. Accompanying the western heavenly king was also an assembly of gods, yaksha, and many dragons, Naga. All four of these assemblies filled the entire space. Some came just out of curiosity, wanting to admire the noble and beautiful appearance of the world-honored one. Some came just wanting to play a few pieces of music to praise the virtue of the fully enlightened one who had shaken the heavens. Some yakshas who do not have faith are indifferent, standing to one side or walking away. As for a large number of celestial beings, yaksha, after hearing the Dharma, they agreed to take refuge and then made a vow to protect the Sangha and the Dharma for a long time. Rejoicing in the Dharma teachings, admiring the Buddha's sublime aura, Dhatarata lifted up the instrument, like a skilled conductor, with his white jade fingers gently caressing the strings, and the entire set of sounds of the Gandharva began to play a piece of music that had never existed before in humanity. And how strange it is, behind the melodious melody is the scent of trees, leaves, flowers, and strange aromas that linger in the air. And yet, in the middle of the sound, like waves of pure air, soft, flexible, and gentle, as if lifting the soul up and up, as if merging with the blue clouds, are the lyrics, floating in the language. The language of heaven not everyone can hear or understand. Buddha smiled at the lotus flower. Listen to what these musicians are singing. They sing, "In a world so vast and wide, a mystery does abide, like a white cloud drifting free, forming calyx, pure to see. He appeared, a radiant light, clean and bright, a wondrous sight, like the peak of Sineru high, with arrogance that dares to fly. Hail to the King of realms above, a beacon of compassion and love. He stepped from shadows, Mara's hold, into the light, brave and bold. Like the sun that warms the day, like the moon that guides the way. In the dance of stars he stands, with wisdom held in gentle hands. His Dharma flows, a timeless stream, bestowed with care, a sacred dream, floating through infinity's grace, in the heart of time and space. Never dimmed, his light will shine, a guiding force, forever divine. Oh, how wonderful this truth we find, in the depths of the soul intertwined." At this point, the third tone and pitch changed suddenly, becoming more melodious, more gentle, more affectionate. "Oh, did you see, oh man, behold, a rainbow bright, in colors bold, soaring high through endless night, through pain and death it takes its flight. To greet the you that's never born, to welcome love, pure and adorned, the eternal bliss of Nibbana's grace, a sacred smile upon your face. The Gandharva sings a tune so sweet, while Yaksha dances light on feet. From eastern palace, silks do sway, to western stupa, where dreams play. North and south in harmony, around the altar, wild and free. Oh, my heart, it beats, it yearns, with fragrant love the spirit burns. Catching dewdrops, soft and clear, like sparkling eyes that draw us near. Catching joy like springtime's cheer, with every moment warmth appears. Words that shimmer bright and true, for every grain of dust anew, transforming life, a jewel's gleam. In this ballad, we dare to dream. At this point, the lyrics and syllables seem slow, peaceful, and serene. Oh, can the world hear the whispers of grace? Thousands of leaves where the flowers embrace, fragrance and pearls in the soft morning light, as wind and clouds dance in joyous delight. The sea, deep and vast, with mountains that sway, in a symphony vibrant, they celebrate play. The church of the Venerable shines like a star, guiding the lost ones, no matter how far. Countless ashrams gather, their hearts open wide, welcoming wisdom with love as their guide. Listen, oh listen, to the old Kalantan, chirping its praises, a sweet, timeless plan. Praise him, the eternal, the spirit so bright, breaking the chains that confine in the night. For countless souls yearning, their fates intertwined, may heaven and earth in true peace be aligned. So let us all gather, in harmony's song, with hearts full of hope, where we all can belong. In the beauty of nature, in love's gentle sway, may joy fill our lives, come what may. The chorus ended, all four congregations cheered and shook the whole space. Buddha said, "Hey, heavenly Datarata, you and your Gandharva assembly praise and extol the Tathagata, but why is there such a mixed love song? The disciples only know how to make offerings through language and sound," replied the heavenly Datara, "and that is the hearts of the disciples. World-honored one. It's great," Buddha smiled. "Tathagata hopes that you protect the Dharma as well." The four great kings bowed together and vowed, all disciples will unanimously protect the three jewels and protect the country. However, Lord Buddha, in the assembly that we govern, there are still many yakshas with many spiritual powers and few spiritual powers. They do not believe in the three jewels. They are still living with evil, unjust, evil thoughts. Things have happened, are happening, here and there. They slander the three jewels, disrupting their practice. Bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, novice, upasadi. So, among the four groups, while practicing in peace anywhere, even in deep forests, deserted caves, cemeteries, deserted temples, in the middle of villages. If they feel insecure, scared, afraid of being disturbed by inhuman beings, please allow the world-honored one to allow them to read it out loud. Chant loudly the names of the following yakshas, great yakshas, strategists, great strategists who have a lot of majesty and divine power. Then you will immediately be at peace. They are Inda, Soma, Vavruna, Bharadva, Pajapati, Kandana, Kamasetha, Kinugandu, Nigandu, Panada, and Opamana. Buddha approved. They were extremely happy, paid homage to him, and then disappeared into space. 1 month of settlement took place normally. The Buddha preached many Dharma sessions here and also many Dharma sessions at Vulture Mountain. In particular, the Buddha preached a Dharma session about governing the country and protecting the people. We must reform policies for a rich people and a strong country, for all people to be happy and peaceful, at the court of King Senya Bimbisara, including the following 10 outstanding points. The first is to review capital punishment crimes, life imprisonment with hard labor, and reduce punishments that are too painful to the body. Forms such as cutting off meat, cutting off 5 horses, beheading 3 pieces, cutting off legs, cutting off hands, must all be abolished. Only increase serious crimes by increasing production and working at technology factories, and because of the fruits of his labor, the years of imprisonment will be reduced. Second, bankers reduce lending at too high interest rates. Union bosses, technology, and factory owners must pay wages to workers corresponding to their ability and labor to give them enough food and clothing. Third is to respect and make offerings to monks and monks. Preserve cultural traditions, customs, fine traditions, ceremonies, festivals, offerings to ancestors and crops. Fourth, plowmen must have fields, reduce agricultural taxes, provide fertilizer, seeds, and guidance on farming techniques. Encourage handicraft industries. Reduce taxes on forest products, minerals, and seafood. Fifth, prohibiting mistreatment and oppression of women. Treat servants, employees, and parishioners well. 6th, encourage children's education and prohibit exploitation of child labor. 7th is to set up pauper and relief camps, open clinics, treat diseases, and provide medicine to people. 8th, open more open-air amphitheaters, public motels, and restroom facilities. Build more parks, flower gardens, and plant more trees. 9th, dredge canals and dig more wells in towns and villages. 10th, prohibit human trafficking into slavery. It is forbidden to kill animals for sacrifice. Due to the policy of progressive reform, for the people and truly for the people, taught by Buddha, the Church's reputation is deeply rooted in the masses. Other sects here are still respected and treated fairly by the king, but they are also gradually shrinking before the strong development of true dharma, full of righteousness and love in life and in people's hearts. Early the other day, without informing anyone, Buddha held his bowl and went to beg for alms alone. After finding enough food to eat, he went to the suburbs, going east to Rajagaha. In the village of Ambasanda, on Mount Vedyaka, the Buddha sat under a tree at midday. Because it was raining lightly and the wind was cold, he went to Indasala cave to rest for lunch. Then he stayed deep in great concentration, a place of retreat for saints. The Buddha saw that there was a predestined opportunity to save a great living being, so he came here. Sakka heaven had just been visited by the 4 great heavenly kings and told how he had just gone down to Vayuvana to visit the Buddha, then played music and scattered flowers and incense to praise him. During these days, Sakka's body is sweating, tired, exhausted, as if she has no strength left. The colors of her celestial robes and flower garlands are quickly fading. She feels depressed with her 5 desires, knowing that this is a sign of impending farewell. Heaven, so I want to go down to Buddha to listen to his precepts. Hiding his sad story, Sakka smiled happily and said, "You guys have put your hands on me. I also want to go down and pay my respects, praise him, and then ask him some important questions about birth and death, about the joys and sufferings of human life. It is very difficult for a fully enlightened person to appear in the world, do you know?" "Yes, very rare." "Then go ahead, dear Lord." "Yes, I will go, along with the gods, can bring along the chief musician of heaven. Is that okay?" "Very good, very precious." After the 4 great heavenly kings left, Sakka heaven summoned the 33 heavenly men and women of the 33 palaces to explain the reason for this visit. Everyone happily prepares costumes, crowns, bright pearls, bright parasols, fragrant flowers. Emperor Thich called the conductor in charge of the heavenly music and dance band, Panchasika, to come. Who is Panchasika? In heaven, almost everyone sympathized with the love story of this talented musician. Those with great wisdom recount that, during the time of Buddha Kassapa, he was a wandering cowherder, fond of playing, singing, and singing all day like a child. Growing up, his playful and promiscuous personality remained the same, refusing to be an adult. Fortunately, he believed in the 3 jewels and always sought to serve the Buddha and the monks. In that karma, in the end, he was reborn as the son of the chief musician Gandharva of heaven. Because he doesn't like being an adult, his temperament and habits are created like that, so his figure is like a chubby bronze fairy, with rosy skin, with 5 tufts of hair on his head. Everyone calls him Panchasika, long became the name. Due to his lineage as a singer, following his father's footsteps, Panchasika was in charge of the royal court's musical and dance department. The artist is a passionate person. He is madly in love with the fairy Surya Vakasa, the daughter of the fairy Timbaru. But on the contrary, this fairy did not love him. The young Gandharva, one fairy who looked like a peach with 5 tufts of hair, but loved Sikadi, the son of Matali, the coachman himself, Sakka's subordinate. Thich said to the chief musician, "Hey Panchasika, have you prepared a piece of music or a supreme song to dedicate to the fully enlightened one?" "Yes, sir, yes, a wonderful song." Panchasika thought it was wonderful. Because of his broken love, the musician composed a song, like the music of his heart that he had not revealed to anyone and had not yet played for anyone to listen to. Today, he wanted to offer the world-honored one a musical song with those wonderful lyrics, as if it were distilled from the blood of his heart. And that is the expression of his ultimate respect for the world-honored one. "That's good. Hey Panchasika." Can I ask you a favor? Please, God, keep talking. I'm very shy about visiting the world-honored one seemingly suddenly like this. The Buddhas of perfect enlightenment often prefer quiet places to live. So how can your song, when it reaches the ears of the world-honored one, not disturb him, but is also like a tentative step, so that after that I can be granted an audience with him? It's easy, my lord. Panchasika confidently replied, the words of your song and music will make even a rock tilt its ear, and the passing storm will also stop. And those wandering clouds also had to stop for a moment to listen in amazement. Heavenly Lord, rest assured, the world-honored one will welcome you with your wonderful words, singing, and violin music. Yes, then it's like this, Panchasika. Currently, the Buddha is staying in Ambasan village, Vedyaka mountain, in Indasala cave, east of Rajagaha. When we go down there, I and the assembly of gods will reside in the middle of the village, around the mountain. As for you, find the right place, not too close, not too far, just enough for your melodious music to reach his ears without disturbing him, okay? The bronze fairy with 5 tufts of hair obeyed. So each cloud, each colorful cloud, bright and dazzling in space, in the night, instantly flew to its intended destination. They reside sporadically between the village and around Vedyaka mountain. At that time, it was not yet late at night. People around the area woke up excitedly and surprised. They rushed out into the yard and garden. Maybe Vedyaka mountain was on fire? Mount Vedyaka has a bright fire. It's the same above the village of Ambasan. There is a knowledgeable person with a lot of knowledge, looking attentively at the strange phenomenon, saying, "No, guys. In the middle of nowhere like that, there is no grass, no trash, no dry trees, but fire burns." Right, so what is so bright? Perhaps that is the light of the fairies in heaven. Really? What are they doing here? Well, let's see. One person said, surely there must be a great saint residing there at Vedyaka mountain. This is the phenomenon of the gods coming down to worship. That's right. I heard that this afternoon, the great monk Gautama went deep into it. That's it. Then tomorrow morning, let's go in and pay our respects and make offerings to him for blessings. It's the great Arhat. At that time, Panchasika held the Beyuva instrument and carefully found a place within reach, standing neither near nor far from the Indasala mountain cave. Choosing a place to sit, listening to the direction of the wind, he started a piece of music like natural sounds between heaven and earth. It was the sound of leaves rustling through bamboo branches, the sound of a stream flowing between deep ravines, the sound of many birds singing in harmony between the trees. Spring forest. The musician thought to himself, I don't dare to deceive the ears of the great enlightenment, but I must take that natural sound, change the rhythm to enter my heart's music so it won't be abrupt. Panchasika then continued to think, that is not enough, not worthy of my fame and talent. Those small-town Gandharva musicians, subordinates of the heavenly Dadara, when playing music, the music still emits the scent of leaves and flowers. Then I also put in the music the fragrances of the realm, heaven that this human world cannot have. Then, the music mixed with wonderful lyrics, mixed with strange scents, was played, sung, passionately, 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 making the whole sky flutter. Soil, grass, and trees. The Buddha then emerged from samadhi. He knows everything. He knew clearly the love song of Panchasika, both its cause and effect, its past, present, and future. Buddha smiled in his heart. He listened from the beginning. In reverence, I bow to Timbaru, her father, a creator of grace. From his heart, a goddess was born, the wellspring of joy in this place. Like the breeze to the weary soul, like cool water to thirsting lips, she is my love, my guiding light. In her presence, my spirit dips. Like Dharma and Buddha, she heals, a balm for the aching and worn, food for the hungry, sweet nectar, a goddess in cool waters adorned. Let us quench the flames of desire, like an elephant scorched by the sun. Bathe in the lake, fresh and pure, where lotus blooms, our hearts become one. I long to sink deep in her embrace, like a captive beast yearning to roam, to cast off the chains, the sharp hooks. In her warmth I find my true home. My heart is ensnared, tied to her side. To sever this bond, oh what a plight. Retreat is a dream, powerless I stand, like a fish on a line caught in the night. Dear lady, I plead, hold me near, in your arms. Let our spirits entwine, gaze into my eyes, gentle and clear, in your embrace. let our hearts align. Oh, heavenly maiden, I humbly implore, how many desires have bloomed in my chest, yet now they have multiplied. In your presence I find my rest. Like the disciples of Buddha, we strive, all our merits to the divine we bestow. O perfect beauty, you are my fruit. In this life, your love is my glow. O radiant lady, my heart's delight. The monk seeks the truth, in silence he waits. For immortality I pray to you. In your love my spirit elates. If Saka, the Lord of the heavens, grants me a wish, my heart's true plea, to have you beside me, forever entwined, for my love for you is boundless and free. Like the tala tree that bears sweet fruit, to Tunu I offer my praise, for the gift of your beauty, so perfect, in my heart you forever blaze. The love song ended, but the water, clouds, mountains, and forests of Vedyaka were still restless and fluttering. The whole space suddenly quieted down, as if still immersed in a dreamy sound. The Buddha raised his voice, clearly heard in the ears of the assembly of gods, especially the musician. Hey Painkasik, the sound of your strings harmonizes beautifully with your lyrics, your voice, and vice versa. Holding the guitar does not add forced color to the lyrics, but the lyrics are also not ostentatious or exaggerated compared to playing the guitar. Truly the talented chief musician of heaven, the Buddha's voice suddenly seemed to penetrate the musician's mind. But hey, Panchasika, when did you compose that song, and why do you dare to compare her and yourself, like Dharma and Tathagata? Are you looking for her compared to a practitioner looking for immortality? You are so happy to be one with her that you consider yourself a Thich son to attain ultimate Bodhi? Panchasika spoke sadly. That's right. The world-honored one is right in scolding you. I composed that song when he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, meaning just recently. Who knows, for me, she is the ultimate. The lyrics and music just now are the most wonderful sounds of my heart. So that comparison and simile, for me, is now the truest, the most supreme, world-honored one. Then, the musician had the courage to tell his love story to Buddha. Indrathich thought to himself, the Buddha did not chase away Panchasika, but listened attentively and even showed sympathy for this lovesick musician. I have a chance. Panchasika, then, did not forget his duty. World-honored one, Divine Lord Saka, his court officials and subordinates look forward to seeing him, paying respects, and asking for his health. Then learn about the Dharma. Buddha silently accepted. Then, when Saka and the assembly were allowed to enter, they used divine power to make the cave brighter and wider. Everyone came to pay respect to the Buddha and find a right place to stand. Buddha said, "It was so sudden when the heavenly host visited Tathagata. It's a miracle that the heavenly Lord has so many responsibilities to shoulder, and also has time to travel to this mountain cave. World-honored one, indeed, Heaven 33 has so much to do. Now I'm hindered from one thing, tomorrow I'll be hindered from another thing, so I can't come regularly to visit the world-honored one." Buddha knew Saka's thoughts and aspirations, so he began to change the direction of the story. Yes, Tathagata knows that the Godhead has faith, but many of the Godhead's subordinates do not have faith. Indeed, dear Buddha, there are many benefits of money, clearly visible, but I have not convinced my subordinates. I once told them that, when a virtue of enlightenment appeared, the heavenly world of Sangha and Atula decline. Then I tell the specific example to them. When the Blessed One came to visit Kapilavatthu, she liked the old Gopaka, the 3 jewels, the full rules, when the body was gastrointestinal, being born of the world, being a natural son, being my son, being lifelike, enjoying the 5 dishes of sex. In contrast, there are 3 bhikkhu that likes the other women who often protect, due to practice but also negligence, and 2 giddy should be born to be the kanbaba lower, must serve the other thientu. Considering that, the 3 jewels are supreme blessings, who has no faith, no boundary, does not know giving, offerings, without worrying about practicing, it wastes a lifetime. Indra's mind and intellect were thus purified, and his questions related to the evil dharmas, the arising of mutual conditions such as hostility, ill will, jealousy, greed, liking and disliking, delusions, idle talk, and how joy, sorrow, and equanimity are on the path of cultivation. The Buddha thoroughly explained each point, carefully explaining it to Indra to understand. At the end of the question and answer session, Indra gained the following benefits: seeing rebirth, wisely choosing the womb, living with mindfulness and awareness, in the future reaping the Bodhi fruit. After finishing the heavenly body, he will be reborn in the ultimate form heaven, Akanita, and then nirvana there, never returning to the human world again. In other words, Indra was so happy when he knew he had seen the Dharma, had not regressed from the path. Furthermore, there is another miracle, which no one except the Buddha saw, that after death, Saka was immediately reborn as Saka with a surging vitality, as if his skin had been changed, his body had been changed. With joy filling his whole body, Saka said, "Hey Panchasika, you have helped me so much, and most importantly, thanks to you, I have been able to see the world-honored one and hear the immortal teachings. To repay you, first, from now on, I will specially appoint you as a Gandharva king with all the honors and titles, majesty and glory. Second, I will play the role of your father, and then I will find a way to marry Surya Vakasa to be your queen, okay?" So the love story of the musician Panchasika ended. From now on, we will only know Panchasika, the noble king Gandharva. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you have just listened to the video about the life of Buddha Shakyamuni, adapted from the work A Life, a Sun and Moon by Master Geoy Duck. This video series will be broadcast at 7 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the YouTube channel Buddhist Story. We sincerely thank you for watching. To not miss the next episodes, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If you find the content useful, please share this video with your relatives and friends. All your comments are very valuable to us. Please leave comments below the video so we can discuss and share together. Thank you, and see you again in the next episodes of the video series, The Life of Buddha Shakyamuni.